Record now so we can get this up in the team page. All right, so welcome to Sunday night team call. It is June 25th, you guys. We have 1 week left to lock in our goals before the new month hits. Plenty of time. It's totally possible. If you're somebody that is listening to this call, watching the playback or whatever it may be, and you're feeling defeated, like, the month had got away from you, or, you're not where you want to be, or, something along the lines of, just kind of beating yourself up a little bit, I want you to know that there are still a week left. And if you kind of look at the big picture of the month, I want you to actually think about when Success Club actually happens. It doesn't usually take somebody an entire 30 days to reach their goals. It's usually a matter of a hustle, a matter of, a time frame, whether it's 3 or 4 days that you're in conversation or whatever it may be. There's always that, kind of like that bunched together moment where everything starts to happen for you. So if it hasn't happened for you yet, you have two options. You can look at this and say it's too late, or you can look at this and say I have an entire week left to do what I want to do in my business and to move forward. If you're somebody that's in Success Club and you think that it's okay to stop working, you're doing nothing but selling yourself short. You're not going to leave the legacy that you want to leave, right? So this is all about continuing to work until the final minute, the final hour of every month, and giving it everything that you possibly have to know that you can walk away from this saying, I did my best, I feel my best, and I know what I learned from this month, and I know what I can take into July and, use that experience to grow and pay forward to my team and to help other people, by my example. So that's just a really big thing for me. I know that the Success Club numbers are a lot lower this month, and I know that myself included, it's been one of those months. But for me, I don't want to sit there because I like staying in that kind of headspace. That's not healthy for our team. What we can focus on is how committed have we been in our own personal journeys? Where have our priorities been in our own personal businesses this month? What type of atmosphere have we been surrounding ourselves by? So before anything, guys, it's really giving yourself that self-check that we need if you're not where you want to be, and then using that opportunity to say, you know what, I have an opportunity right now, tomorrow, Monday morning, to turn it around, to finish my last 6 days, and really bust out my goals like I know that I can. So that is definitely something that I wanted to mention tonight. Next thing on the list, guys, do we have any recognition that we want to celebrate? Nothing? I'll go ahead and give Mackenzie a huge shout out because she was at Success Club 6, I believe, at the beginning of last week. And usually for Mac, that's not like her. She usually locks in Success Club within like the first, 5 or 6 days. And it's kind of been a slower month for her. And when her mom came in town, you would think that she would step away from this business. But instead, she leaned into that, guys. And she sold 5 challenge packs last week to get her in the teens of Success Club. I'm not exactly sure where you are yet, but very, very proud of you and your commitment and your work ethic this week. And it just goes to show you what you're capable of in this business. So great job. Love seeing that. And I hope I don't lose internet. It's like a huge thunderstorm.
It's scary. It's really scary. And thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Okay, well, let's dive in, guys. So tonight's topic was all about kind of the foundation of success. And I realized through this process that, a lot of times we really dive into comparison mode. We get into really looking at people, maybe even like myself, because I've just been around longer, and they kind of say, well, I'm never going to be where Natalie is, or I'm never going to, be able to accomplish the things that she's accomplished, or whatever, my circumstances aren't as hard, or whatever it may be, right? You have other things on your plate. We always have excuses, or we always have reasoning why we think that our capabilities are lesser than somebody else's. And it's not because they are. It's because we convince ourselves that they are. Do you know what I'm saying? We tell ourselves that we're not capable of seeing that type of success because why? Who knows why? And the one thing that's really important in this business is you have to always be able to recognize when you're doing that to yourself and separate that mindset and get back on the ground, get back on the right track and understand where you're going in your business. Because if you get trapped in the comparison game, you are going to be long gone. If you get trapped in the why me, if you get trapped in the this isn't working, but you don't reflect to realize that you're not working your business, then you have to accept that, and you have to be able to say, you know what, I'm owning this. I'm taking ownership on this, and I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to get back in the game. I'm going to go back to the basics. I'm going to commit to myself. There's no reason why I can't be like Melanie Mitro. There's no reason why I can't be like Lindsay Matway. The only thing that separates the people's names that you hear about every single week is they have an undeniable work ethic. Like we talked on the call last week about vision. They have never lost that vision. If you hear Lindsay Matway's story, she's somebody that I'm super inspired by in this business. She's a high school dropout. She comes from alcoholic parents. She didn't have anything to show for herself. She was, by 25, bankrupt, filing for bankruptcy. What else? Her daughter was a preemie that put him in $400 worth of medical debt. She had everything against her. And when Beachbody Coaching started and she wasn't making a dime when she was trying to hustle through this, and she wanted to just give up and quit and go back to bartending, which is all that she knows, she looked at a picture of her daughter, of her baby girl standing in her high heels, her baby girl standing in her shoes, and she said, I don't want her to be in my shoes. I don't want her to live the life that I lived. I don't want her to have absent parents or families that can't support her or whatever it may be. And she clenched onto that vision with everything that she had, and every single day it gave her the motivation to show up. And for me, it's kind of like that too, in a way. And I kind of wanted to paint you guys a picture tonight, because I am going to talk about a few specifics that involve like Beachbody, but I really feel like the foundation of success comes from within yourself. So if you guys can paint your own story, and you can stay on your own path, and you can stop looking left and stop looking right and stop looking at the people before you or the people after you that maybe did it faster than you, and just focus on where you want to go and what you're truly capable of, you'll find that you're still going to end up where you need to be as long as you're doing the behaviors it takes to get there and be successful. We know this business takes intention. We know that we have to show up every day. So for anybody to question why this isn't working for them, if they're not behind the scenes doing the behaviors that it actually takes, we need to reevaluate that. So I want you to picture something. It's winter time, and what happens in the winter time when you look at the trees? All of them fall off. But now you're stuck with these big, humongous trees, and there's just a bunch of branches everywhere. And you can see the branches very clearly. That's where you are before you started this journey. And I'm sure there's tons of things that you can fill these branches with. And here's some of mine. When I was a kid, spending my birthday money on things to decorate our house because I was so embarrassed of our living situation. I didn't want to have people come over. That I would spend my money as a 10-year-old that I would get for my birthday to buy a new piece of furniture to make our house look nicer, or to buy curtains to make our house look nicer. Here's something else that I can add to my list. My first year of college, when I was on probation for my grades, where I was literally going to get kicked out of WVU if I didn't get a certain GPA the next semester. Here's another thing that I could add to my list. Growing up with an absent father because he was always in jail. Here's another thing that I can add to my list. Having an underage and having to take AA classes when I was 21 years old. How embarrassing is this? Here's another thing that I can add to my list. Going out for the WVU basketball team as a walk-on and being asked to stay, understanding that I wasn't going to get any playing time that year. But instead of humbling myself to the fact that I needed to grow and get better, I quit and I walked away because I was too good for that. I was too good to sit on the bench. Here's another thing that I can add to my list: the death of a parent. Here's another thing that I can add to one of my branches, is being a quitter. Because of everything in my life before Beachbody, I didn't stick with anything. I was a victim to my story. Everything was a why me. And I think the biggest foundation of success is understanding that every single thing on my tree, every single thing on your tree, it's not happening to you. It's happening for you. And you have to be able to understand that you're given the life and the circumstances that you're given so that you can be tested and learn how to overcome them, so that you can become the person that you are meant to become. When you look at your after tree now, insert Beachbody, only 3.5 years later, life is completely changed. I'm going to call myself a great mom. I'm a great mom. I have an amazing husband. I believe in myself. I strive every single day to be a good role model. I lean into my trials now instead of questioning why they're being presented to me. I've been a founder of my faith. I'm no longer a quitter. I no longer look at money or finances as something that's a negative in my life. You know why those things happened in a matter of 3 years? Because I started focusing on what I wanted. I didn't have room anymore in my life, if I truly wanted to change, to sit around and look around and wonder why things weren't going my way. All I could do was put my blinders on and focus on where I was going. That's all I could do. My dreams were bigger than my fears. It was more scary for me to be able to look ahead 5 years and be in the exact place that was 3 years ago than it was to take the chance of having a better opportunity. So here's the thing. If we don't make the change, if we don't make the effort right now to develop the clarity to know where we want to go, 1 year from now, your Beachbody business is not going to be any different. It's not enough to say you want to be a diamond or a 2-star or an elite coach. It's not enough to say you want to go to Summit next year in a completely different place than you are right now. It's not enough to say that you want to be making an X amount of dollars by an X date. That's not enough. Because if you're not taking the action that it requires to move your business forward, you're going to be in the exact same spot. There was a reason why my tree looked like it did until I was 23 years old. It's because I was constantly wanting things, but never actually doing the work it took to achieve them. I always wanted to have more financial freedom. I always wanted to be healthier. I always wanted to have different circumstances. I always wondered why me and everything in my life, instead of using that as an opportunity to grow and become better. So if you're on this call, it shows me that you care enough about your business because you're here. Why would you be here if you didn't want your business to flourish? If you didn't have big goals for yourself and saw these huge dreams for yourself coming true, you wouldn't be on this call. I just know it. And what you have to understand, guys, is that the foundation of success is dropping your limiting beliefs. You don't have time for them. You've got places you've got to be. You have things that you have to do. You don't have time to sit around and wonder if this is going to work for you or not. All you have time to do is focus on where you want to go. And I want you to think about something for a minute. I might butcher this, but I'm going to try my best. But I heard once there was some type of kind of like assignment that was given. And I'm going to ask you guys this right now. Look around the space that you're in right now. Look at all the brown stuff. How much do you see that's brown? Couple things, 3 things, 4 things. You see something, right? Raise your hand if you see something that's brown. Your walls, your lamp, your table. All right. Now in that process, don't look now, but in that process of looking around the room, how many red things did you see? Don't look around now. In the process when you were looking for the brown thing, how many red things did you see? 0? Raise your hand if you saw 0. You saw 2 red things while you were looking for the brown thing. Oh my gosh. Did you see that when you were looking for the brown? Okay. Well, you're not part of the assignment. Okay. Now here's why that is. Because you were only focusing on what you were looking for. That you missed everything else that was right in front of you too. The red is your signifying opportunity. But so often, all we see is the brown shit. Because all we focus on is the stuff that doesn't matter. When the red stuff, the color, is right there in front of us. And it's the perfect opportunity for you to understand that the whatever you focus on is going to be your reality. If you focus on a rank advancement, you're going to rank advance. If you focus on an income goal, you're going to hit your income goal. Now, if at any time you lose that focus, if any time you stop doing the behaviors you need to do, you're not going to hit the goal. But if you focus on what you want to achieve in the business, you're going to hit the goal. It's just how it works. When you focus on all the bad stuff happening in your life, what happens? More bad stuff usually ends up happening. But when you find a way to be grateful, you wake up with gratitude, you feel blessed for the things that you have in your life, what happens? You get more opportunity. Things don't seem as terrible as we make them put out to be. I want to share something with you guys. Week 1 in my business, just to kind of take us back to 2014. Week 1 in my business, I made $160. I covered my entire challenge pack because I sold 4 challenge packs that week. Because when I started, I understood the way to earn money was commissions. The way to earn money was to put myself out there on social media and fill a challenge group. And the way to earn money was to talk to people and invite them. I wasn't an Emerald coach yet, so there was no other earning potential for me. I didn't want to be in the situation I was in my job. I wanted to get out. So I put my head down and I went to work. And in my first week, I sold 4 challenge packs, $160 paycheck. In my second week, $309 paycheck. I sold 4 more challenge packs. And because I sold 4 more challenge packs, meaning that I sold 5 challenge packs within a 5-week period, I got a $100 bonus. So that's where that $300 came from. And when I saw that $100 bonus for the first time, and I had no idea how I earned it, and I learned in that moment that I earned it because you have to sell 5 challenge packs in a 5-week period, and you're going to earn a $100 bonus check. I knew in that moment that my non-negotiable every single month was Success Club 10. Because that meant every 30 days I was selling 5 challenge packs, which meant every 30 days I was making a $100 bonus. But that still wasn't enough for me. So my goal every month was to make 2 bonuses. So what did that mean? I had to help 10 people. I told you I was in this for inspiration, desperation. I needed out of that financial rut I was pushing. You know what I made on week 3? $14. I cycled 1 time. I became an Emerald coach and I was getting some discount coaches in my organization. I was earning volume now from my organization. I earned my first cycle. That was really exciting. But $14 in that week wasn't what I was making a week in my other job. $14 a week wasn't going to keep me home. And I started to lose my faith. How quick am I to lose my faith? I've only been in the business for 2.5 weeks. I just made $400 2 weeks ago, and now I'm making 14. How can I not find the gratefulness in that? And because of that mindset, you know what I made the next week? Minus $19.44. So how does somebody that made minus $19.44 coming off a week where she made $14 when she had bills to pay, how did I keep moving forward? Because I didn't have time to think about everything that was going wrong. All I had time to think about was where I was going. And from that point on, I never made under $100 a week. And within 3 months, I was making $1,000 a month. And I'm not saying this to compare yourself to me or to feel bad about yourself if you're not there or whatever, but I'm just letting you know the effect that it can have on you if you know where you're going. And if you stop looking, nobody told me that it was a huge deal to help 4 people in a week. Now we praise people for helping 4 people in a month, and it is amazing. Anytime you can change a life, it's absolutely amazing. I never want you to discredit that. But I think somewhere down the road, guys, we got a little soft. We started setting minimums for ourselves. We started thinking that it was okay not to hit Success Club, or it was okay not to set goals, or if we set a goal and we didn't reach it within 30, 60, 90 days, however big the goal was, who cares? We'll just set the goal again. There has to be self-discipline in this business. Your why has to be big. It has to be a vision that drives you. Because it does not matter about anything else. If you're not moving your business forward, then you don't have a business. And if this is supposed to be something for you that's huge and lucrative and exciting and is changing lives and is helping other people financially, it has to start with you. You have to lead from the front. I've been kicking my heels and dragging my feet for the last 11 months on why my business now, 3.5 years later, has not grown in a year. Because I've been sitting around trying to figure out why I can, or how I can keep making excuses for myself that this is too hard with a kid, and being a single mom. Because I've been focused on how freaking hard it's been instead of focusing on what I need to do every day to get done. What are my non-negotiables every day? And I'm in the exact same place, guys, that I was a year ago because I'm not focusing on where I'm going. And that stopped 2 days ago. And I've since then have been looking to hire help because I'm in a place financially where I'm able to do that. Does it mean that that's not an option for you? No, because the option for me for the last however many times is to stay up late, even though my kid doesn't sleep. So getting 3 to 4 hours nights of sleep just to keep my business afloat. But that's what you got to do if that's what you got to do. But the point here is that there is a way. And you have to figure out where your priorities lie. Too many people, and I feel like I'm preaching, and I'm sorry for this, but I feel like, guys, we need to come together and we need to deal with this, and we need to move forward because there's too many freaking powerhouses on this team for us to be sitting where we are right now. There are too many people that bitch about this business not working, that bitch about the business not paying them like a business when they are only working as if it's a hobby. That is not how this works. Not everybody's going to quit on their marriage if it gets hard. Not everybody's going to quit being a parent when it gets hard. Why are you going to quit your business when it gets hard? It's inevitable. Everything in life that's worth it is hard. You're not going to hop, skip, and jump to your destiny and it be an easy road. If that were the case, then everybody would be there. But no one is there because no one is taking the time to grow themselves, to develop the mindset, to hustle and have the grit that they need to get to that next place. But you do. This team does. Somewhere along the line, we're just getting a little bit lost. And I think that we're getting a little bit lost because we're starting to convince ourselves that our goals and our dreams don't matter. I can just go back to work. I already have a good job. I don't really need this. Whatever you focus on is going to be your reality. I have scattered notes, so give me a second. Everything, guys, and I'm just going to end with this. You know what everybody's problem is in Beachbody? Everybody's problem, myself included, is they think they shouldn't have one. They think it shouldn't be hard. And they think because it's hard that it's not for them. Your experiences are happening to you for a reason. You're being tested right now. What are you going to do about it? There's 5 days left in the month, I think. Are there 30 days in June or 30? I don't even know. 31. No, it's July. Is it 30 days? 30 days in June. What are you going to do about it? We have an opportunity here, guys. Think about what this has done for you. Why are you here? I'm here because I was so freaking desperate to lose weight, because I was so insecure, because I hated the way that I looked, because I was not happy with myself. I was mean. I was judgmental of other people. I had no goals and dreams, and I wanted to be better. That's why I'm here. And when I realized that, when I learned how to dream, when I found self-confidence, when I learned to have a vision, I realized that I could give my family more. And yeah, I became driven by a bigger purpose. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what opportunity is. That's what bettering yourself does, is it make you realize what you're capable of. This opportunity made me realize that I could give my family so much more than what was in the cards for us. Why wouldn't I capitalize on that? You're here for a reason. Dig deep into that reason and understand that the foundation of your success solely relies on what you're telling yourself every single day. So if it's some bullshit story, do me a favor and drop it right now. You don't have time for it. All you have time for is your destiny and your success and your vision and your life dream for your family. That's it. We don't have time to worry about what the top coach is doing on social media, or how awesome somebody else's Woofu form is, or how come somebody else's challenge group is so much cooler than yours, or, oh my gosh, what filter is she using? Who gives a shit? Work your business and help people and help yourself and help change the course of every single life that you touch. Let me ask you something. If you were your challenger, would you want you as your coach? Are you showing up more than everybody else? Are you being the best you that you can be? I know when I asked myself that, it hit me right in the gut. Because recently, I don't know if I'd want me as my coach. Because I've been struggling to show up in a sense of where they need my support in the beginning and how much people need us when they're starting their journeys. And that was a wake-up call to me to kind of like start over and start fresh and be the coach that I know that I want to be for them. Be the coach that I know that I needed when I started my journey. I learned this in church today. If we're too big to serve, then we're too small to lead. If you're too big to serve, if you're too big-headed, if you're too good to serve people, then you're too small to lead. You're not strong enough to be a leader. Leaders are like, you're not strong enough to be successful. You're not strong enough to be at that next level in your business. You're not strong enough to inspire somebody else. Because the best leaders are the best servants. We have to be giving to people without expecting anything in return. We have to constantly be what we would want from somebody else without expecting anything in return. And understanding that that goodness is going to come back to you. You will be rewarded for it if your work ethic and your intentions are genuine and pure. That is really what I had tonight. Do you guys have anything to add or have any questions? Or do you have any BS you just want to throw it on the table and call yourself out and declare a start over for Monday, June 26th?
I'll share something.
Please.
I love these small team calls. It's all personal. So Natalie and I talked really a lot this last week, but this call just really hits me at home because this last month I was tested. Like my heart's like racing. What she spoke about, when she first started, how she left her job. I just left mine about 4 months ago. And just about up until this point, I was basically just getting by, but this was the first month where everything was going to completely put me at the bottom of my account, and then I would have to build it back up. And I had a really trying first couple of weeks. And when I first quit my job, all the coaches that were in my business quit too. So there was a rebuilding moment. And then this last month, I got the smallest paycheck in my account that I'd ever gotten as a full-time coach. And immediately I, started freaking out. And I started thinking like, oh my gosh, like the timing, like I don't have anything to fall back on right now. Like, how am I going to do this? I broke down at the grocery store, and it's just crazy. Like how you can immediately start to just spiral into this, like, I don't know if I can do this mindset, and the universe hears that and it listens to that. And the next week I had a return. And then the next week I had, like 30 no's, like nobody was saying yes. And, something happened. I kind of, I guess, like, I don't know, cried it out a little bit and refocused on really why I was doing this. And I was telling my boyfriend one night, I was like, I am not going to give up on the picture that I do this for the reasons that it changes lives. And, like that's what we have to focus on sometimes. And, when that struggle came, I leaned because of that, because I didn't forget what this did for me and what I want this business to do for other people. And it really, the world listens to us. Like she said, like what we focus on is truly our reality. So it is a lesson to just check yourself before you continue to wreck yourself, because you're like nothing else is wrecking you but you when you get to that point. So I just really appreciate her leadership in that sense. And I just want you guys to know, like, everybody goes through that stuff. Like, I just accepted the fact that that's part of this. We can't run from it. There will be moments where we feel like, why is this happening to me? How am I going to make this happen? And like, when is it going to happen? And we heard today in church too, that sometimes the progress is slow. Sometimes the journey's not as fast as we want it to be. But every single day, the person that you're becoming through the struggles of whatever you're going through is making you who you're supposed to be in the future. So, oh my God, Natalie just lost her power. Or something, I don't know. But I just wanted to share that and get that off my chest, because I do feel like I'm moving forward from that. So thanks, guys. Love you. Did you lose your power? Oh, she blew a breaker.
No, she just blew another breaker because
we're in the same house, but her room's still lit.
Anybody else? Last chance. Shining on you, calling you. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for coming. It means the world to me to see you guys here. I hope this call was meaningful for you. And if you feel like you have somebody that would really benefit from this video, please tag them tomorrow when the video gets posted. Let's make it a great week. Don't forget to catch Wake Up Call tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. If you can't catch it live, catch the recording. And love you guys. I know we can do this. And let's kick some butt this week. See ya.